Ah, I'm trying to get this lighting fixed here. Well, as you know, this is a what you see is what you get channel. There's no special effects, there's no special lighting, there's no special anything. What you see is what you get. And this book had me a little confused. I have a whole bunch of issues with it. So, anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read book and talk about books. No special effects going on here, like I said before. If you could please check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday, I'd appreciate it. It's getting very low views. Even getting lower views than that is my Friday afternoon weekly podcast of If Then. If you like this author, then maybe you like that author. And I would really appreciate if people would go back and check on, I did a Black authors, and I was so proud of myself for doing such a variety. Sci-fi, vampires, contemporary romance, a whole slew, mystery thrillers, and no one has watched that either. YouTube just hasn't shown it to anybody, at least that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. And also Flashback Monday, where I talk about 30 to 40 different books, historical romance, mystery, thriller, suspense, contemporary romance, harlequins, erotica, paranormals, sci-fi. We cover them all. And I've gotten a little carried away the past couple weeks and done close 60 or more in both of those. So if you could please check those out. And of course, my daily book reviews. We are currently doing J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood. We are currently doing Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series. And we are doing James Patterson's Alex Cross series. How is a little bit better? This is book 12 in the series, and it left me very, very confused. Let's see if we can do this even better. So you're reading an author, and you're reading the books in order, of series order, and you're watching with the character progression. I like character progression. I like to read each book, especially J.R. Ward's books. John Matthew has grown so much through the whole series, and with with Victoria Thompson, Sarah Brandt, and Frank Malloy have grown and mended her family relationship and mended the kids, and it's been really great. So we've been watching Alex Cross try and get situated, try and find himself, and it's going to take a few more books before he gets kind of situated. But and I want you to be prepared for lots and lots and lots and lots of spoilers. Be alert right now. And I gotta go get me my my paraphernalia. One of my podcasts that I listen to, when they do spoilers, they bring out this old taboo button. Beep, 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 beep. Spoil it, spoil it, spoil it. So that's my spoiler. I will spoil, I won't tell you who did it, but it's obvious who did it from the beginning of the book. But there are a couple of twists and turns. All right. So you're reading this series, and the series is progressing from book to book to book. You're started here, and you're working here, and you get to book 12, and what does the author do? You start the book going, is this a prequel? Is he dreaming? Is he in a coma? What is going on here? Because the book starts in 1993, and his first wife, Maria, is still alive. And Damon and, Janie is there, and Damon is on the way. And it's just a little confusing. So I was like, is this, no, you're not going to kill the boy. Not going to kill the boy. I haven't seen my boy co-host today, but he is afraid of girls. And no, he's not afraid of people, girls. He's afraid of girl cats. I've had so many people go, "Oh, I'm sorry he won't come near you." I'm like, it's not me he won't come near, if it's them. We've had so many girls come through this house his entire life, and he's always cowered in the corner when it comes to a girl. Boy cats, he's fine. But girl cats, he's got to go hide in the corner. I don't know why. They have always taken great pleasure in beating him up. I do not know why. And he's this huge, big cat. And the little one is only like this big. And he still cowers. She's still like, I'm going to get you one. So anyways, we start this book. And like I said, this lighting is very bad today. I thought it was a prequel. I'm like, what the F are we doing in 93? I thought we were here. I thought the books were going this way. I don't like prequels to say, I don't. I want sequels. I want to know what happens next. I don't want to know what happened before. I want to know what happens next. But all of these agencies and companies and movies now, don't you hate it? They're all doing these movies and then they go, oh, let's do a prequel. I don't want a prequel. I want a sequel. But anyways, so we go through the first couple of, years, of him and Maria in a very short period of time. Oh, and it starts, another thing. The reason I thought he was in a coma or dreaming or in the hospital or some such in the beginning of the book, like I said, was because the book starts off with, and I don't know when this happened, and I read the whole book and I still don't know when this happened. Dr. Thompson with the Berkshire Medical Center. How many shots did you hear? Multiple, I said. What's your name? Alex Cross. Are you having trouble breathing, experiencing any pain? Pain in my abdomen. Feel liquid sloshing around, shortness of breath. You know that you were shot? Twice. Is he dead? The butcher, Michael Sullivan. Yes, twice. Is he dead? The butcher, Michael Sullivan. I don't know. Several men are dead, okay? Guys, give me a non-breather mask here. 2 wide-base IV Eileen stat. 2 liters IV lean saline solution. See, that's how the book starts. And I'm like, huh? Because then it goes to him and Maria. And I'm like, huh? What? I don't get it. So, let's see. I haven't been in the corner in a while. But I'm thinking that's where I'm going here. That's a little bit better. This a little bit better. So then we start off with him supposedly injured, and I'm not even exactly sure when that happens. And then we switch to 1993 with Maria and the kids situation, and Nana Mama not living with them. She's living a couple of blocks over, and that's how we find out how she ended up living with Alex in later books. But I was so confused of what was going on here. I'm like, huh? I just didn't get it. I thought they were going to go through this whole long thing, and they didn't. It was only a couple of chapters. And then we end up back supposedly in modern times, but we're not really told modern times. So then we jump into the serial killer who has 2 names or 3 names. And, you either call him name A or call him name B. But don't call him name A in the first sentence and name B in the second. It's very confusing. I've seen other books do that, and it drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. I had one author who I didn't read I read the first couple of chapters of this particular book, and then I put it away for several years because it just the next couple of books in the series was much better. But the first book, the guy was known by several different names. So every other chapter, the guy had a different name. And it drove me crazy to the point where I was going to photocopy the whole book. I didn't want to waste all that paper, but I was seriously thinking of photocopying the whole book and going through the entire book the photocopy, not the physical book, but the photocopy, the physical book, and crossing out all the nicknames and filling in one name, and then going back to read it with the same name in the book, because the gentleman having 4 different names I just had a hard time with it. I never actually did it, but I had seriously given it some serious thought about photocopying the whole book, crossing off guy named A and putting in the same name for all the times this guy was called a different name, just so I would be able to follow the story better. Because it was too confusing to follow, that every person he knew him by a different name. It's just like if someone calls you James, but then someone over here knows you as Junior, and then somebody else knows you as Shorty. So you're Junior and you're James and you're Shorty, and it's just they need to pick one name and be done with it. So I'm thinking, do we have 2 serial killers here? Do we have 3 serial killers here? What's going on here? Well, and then there's a couple of sentences where the guy is Michael Sullivan, aka the Butcher. So then you're like, oh, okay, it's the same person. But in some chapters he was Michael Sullivan, in some chapters he was the Butcher, and then we get this other, and it's just, I'm like, could you just give it one name? Why do these people have to have all these names? So, and apparently the person that shot and killed Maria, his first wife, was never caught. And Alex has lived with that. And, she was shot a really long time ago. So then after all this happens and after Maria dies, then we jump forward in time back to present time, and he's out car shopping with the kids, because he's finally come to a point where he can part with her car and then get a bigger car that will handle him and the kids and groceries and stuff like that. So he's out car shopping when the guy from the FBI calls him, and I did all the James Patterson's Women's Murder Club series, and I'm waiting for, 24 now to come out. They're all numbered, by the way. So if you wanted to read them, you could please go check out my videos on all of them. Please do that. I worked really hard on all those videos. But they're all numbered. It's like first degree, first to die, second degree, second chance, third degree, 4th of July. They're all numbered, so just read them in number order. But in book 14, Deadly Sin, the cops have turned bad, and the cops are robbing check cashing establishments in book 14, Deadly Sin. And there's a scene in that book that's the scene in this book, I would swear. They may have changed a few of the circumstances, but it's the same scene. It's the same situation. It's the same drug thing going on, but he changes it a little bit. So come here. So they've got this lab. The people you mentioned who work at the lab, people who package the drugs, they would be mostly women, mothers, grandmothers. That's the case. Dealers like workers they can trust with the product. See why I wanted you here, Mahoney said, and he grinned. At least he showed me his front teeth. His tone reminded me of Janie's rant earlier. A little bit of wise ass masking his vulnerability about being such a man's man. So the drug dealers and the drug hijackers and the drug dealers are trapped inside. Why don't we just let them shoot each other? Already been suggested, Mahoney said deadpan, but now we get to the good part. Alex, here's why you're here. The very well-armed guys who came to jack the lab are DC SWAT. The very your old comrades are the other bad guys in today's episode of Anything Can Happen and Probably Will. That's why this reminded me of Deadly Sin Book 14, was that the people involved were cops or former cops. And it's a really, the situation in the books for the Women's Murder Club goes on for a little bit of while. So then Alex decides that he's gonna quit the FBI. And Nana Mama gets mad and leaves for a couple days, but then she comes back, or a few hours at least. So he quits the FBI, and he's going to open up his own medical practice, his own practice as a shrink. And I have a lot of issues with this. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on with the serial killer and Samson and stuff. But then there's this Cross gets a rape victim, and he does counseling for these rape victims who absolutely refuse to identify their killer. I mean, their rapist. However, he told them not to seek to tell anybody anything. And while they seek help for physical stuff, they don't actually tell anybody anything. But he doesn't care. All he cares about the fact is that they did go see somebody, and whether they spilled or not, it doesn't matter. He kills them. So he's raping them one night, and then a couple of days later, he's coming back and killing them. So Alex is dealing with this rapist murder situation. Now, remember, by this point in the book, he's quit the FBI, and he's opened his own practice as a shrink. And Samson has a new partner with the DC police. And I'm trying to figure this out because Samson is working for the police, and he's taking Alex to crime scenes and taking him on stakeouts. Samson is working for the DC police. Where is his regular partner? We meet his partner like once, I think, or once or twice in the book, but then we don't see him again, and it's Samson and Alex. And why is Samson taking a civilian to a crime scene or a surveillance situation? Because now Alex has no creds. He's not with the DC cops, and he's not with the FBI. Right now, he's a normal citizen. He has, he's not officially anything right this second. And yet John Samson is taking him on all these cases and surveillances, and they're doing all this work together, and they're doing all this questioning of suspects and stuff like that. But Cross is not a cop. Right now, he's just a doctor. And I want to know what Samson's superiors think about him taking a civilian on these cases. Shouldn't he be taking his partner? Because technically, Alex isn't a cop anymore. He's working as a doctor, as a shrink. So why is Samson taking him all these places? What isn't this against code? So that was one of my biggest scenes. He takes Alice to crime scenes. He takes Alex here. They go on stakeouts. They chase down bad guys together. But he's not a cop. He's not anything right now except being a doctor. He's a private citizen. He quit the FBI. And so then if you watch the last video in the last book, he was seeing Kayla, the doctor, and apparently she's going through some personal stuff, and I believe this is the end of her. I think she's moving to North Carolina permanently. So she's out right now. So there might be a person or two coming in Alex's life in the future books. But that was my beef with the book then. He wasn't a police officer anymore. He was a private citizen, and yet Samson took him to this, and this is how they have this big showdown at the end of the book. And Alex participates. Now, he's not a licensed anything at this point. So legally, I want to know where all this leaning legally. And who's paying all this money? Is Alex Cross have enough money that he can do all this stuff and go all these places and fly all these planes? And it just, I don't know. So we'll see what happens in the next book, because we will proceed to books 13 and so forth. And if you could also please check out my daily book reviews. Like I said, we're doing Victoria Thompson and J.O.1. And I've also got this new book, if you haven't seen it yet, Julie McWane, The Time Traveler. Please go and watch my If Then for time travel. I actually found a series from my own video to read, and it's an awesome series, and I am enjoying the heck out of that time travel. It's a lot like Outlander. She doesn't go back 200 years. She only goes back 100 years, and she's in London, and she's with a duke and stuff like that. And it's just, she's a former FBI agent. I think she should go work for Bow Street, but we'll see how things go for that. But I'm really enjoying the heck out of that series. So please check out those videos. Please go check out the time travel video, the Black Authors video, the Witches video, the Homicide video, the Forensic video. Please check them all out. Please go back and watch all the Flashback Mondays. I worked really hard on those. The videos start 2007, so there's 2007, 8, 9, and we're finishing up 2010 in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll move on to 2011. I have till 2016 with the magazines. I love those magazines to death. So please check it out, and please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.